I'm going to show you something that most of you have never seen. Most of you have never seen this. And for the longest time, I've not shown it or talked about it because I was ashamed. I was ashamed. It's, you cannot buy this anywhere. I may relaunch it, make some revisions, all that good stuff at some point in the future. But this is my very first book. This was released more than a decade ago. I didn't have the money. I was a active law enforcement officer then, and about 45,000 years where I was at with overtime and all that good stuff. I didn't have the capital to hire anybody to design a cover to teach me to. I just figured it out, did it, and so here goes nothing. You ready? Drum roll. I'm just kidding. No drum roll. I don't have a drum. But this is my very first book. It's called Spirit and Truth 52 Encouraging Messages for America's Law Enforcement. And yes, I used initials J.A. Davis, forward by Neil Kennedy. You can see I misspelled the word forward, complete and utter total failure on that. And here was the back. It's even worse. I don't know how it could get worse, but it gets worse. And this is the back. And there you go. So you go from that to a few years later, I get a contract, and here we have the award winning with more than 105,000 copies sold behind the badge. It's leaps and bounds, baby, leaps and bounds. And so what does it matter? Why am I showing you this? I hear people say all the time. I talk to so many people who want to write a book, and I've helped more than 160, probably somewhere closer to 170 now, starting to lose count. People with their books. They come to me either with a finished manuscript or just an idea on a blank page, and we walk through it together, and they end with a book in hand, and it looks much better than Spirit and Truth. But here's what I hear from a lot of people: I don't think I'm ready. Well, that really is an easier, more comfortable way to say either A, I don't have the money, I can't afford it, or B, um, I don't know where to start, which is what I do, or C, I don't want to commit to this. So I want to take you to a line from one of my favorite movies called Walk the Line, and it's about the life of Johnny Cash. And it's a scene where Johnny Cash goes to a record label and he meets the producer at the door, and he introduces himself, says, I want to record an album. And the man said, you have to see my secretary, assistant, whatever, and we'll go from there. Well, he finagles his way in, and him and his guys are in there, and they're starting off with this old slow gospel song. And the producer stops him and says, Johnny, we can't record that. We can't record that. And Johnny says, what do you got against gospel music? He says, the same sad, slow music everybody else is making, and that's not what we're doing. And then the producer asked him a question which has kind of stuck with me. And he said, say you've been hit by a bus and you're laying in that street and you got one chance to sing a song before you get your dirt. You're telling me that's what you're going to sing. So I'm going to pose it to you. You've talked about it, whether it's a book, a business, going to whatever it is. You know what it is. You know what the dream is for you. You've talked about it. You've talked about it. You've done nothing but talk about it. You got one chance. You're laying in that street. You got one chance to write something, to say something, to do something before you get your dirt. You're telling me you're doing that right now. If you are, congratulations. You're part of a very, very, very small group of people who are doing what they love and they know they're supposed to be doing. But if it's not you, I think it's time we have a conversation. You see, I didn't start writing stuff that people actually wanted to read or that was what would be considered as good. It wasn't well written. It was probably terrible. I mean, I'll show you the inside. I mean, I don't mind. It was, I don't know that it'll show. There you go. week 27. Pause it and maybe you can see it. You are going to suck when you start. You are going to fall flat on your face at times. You are going to make mistakes. And most people do not start pursuing what they know they were born to do because of fear. Fear. Fear keeps more people from reaching their full potential and living up to their potential than any other thing in this world. Fear. What fear of what? Fear of failure, fear of criticism, people criticizing you. Who? People that know you? Okay, and what's the big deal? Fear of success because you're afraid it's going to change you or whatever. Fear of being judged or ridiculed. Those people aren't your people anyway. It doesn't matter what they think. When you begin to use your God-given gift, that talent that he's given you, whatever that may be, and you have the courage to use it and you get the reps in and you start developing it, you're going to see things begin to change. You're going to have haters. You're going to have people that talk crap about you. Who cares? Who cares? Let them talk. Let them talk. But when you get focused and you start doing things that make you feel alive, and that's my question, are you doing that today? I want to speak specifically to those who feel God's called them to write a book, or you got a business, you're an entrepreneur. Yeah, you can use AI. You can use AI. It's going to look like AI. It's going to read like AI. And I think it's like spitting in God's face if you use AI to write something that you know you've been given a gift to write. So I don't write a book for you. I teach you to write. I teach you how to lay out your book. I teach you how to market your book, how to position your book. I teach you how to do these things. And there's a lot of things I do for you and do with you, but I teach you how to do this. And I've taught a lot of people how to do this. And I just use what I've learned over my journey of doing this myself. My 11th book release is May of 2027. I've sold somewhere in the neighborhood of 300,000 books so far. I received one or two awards over the past decade. I mean, I'm grateful for it, but I don't do this for awards or accolades. I'm telling you this so you know. You saw where I started. You saw where I started. I'm not finished yet. I'm not where I want to be, but I would love to help you get started. And maybe it's not a book. I don't know what it is for you. Maybe you've always wanted to start a business. Maybe there's something else. But whatever it is, stop allowing fear. Stop allowing fear to hinder you, to hold you back, to stop you. Most likely that fear comes from something in your childhood. It comes from some experience in your childhood. That fear that someone's going to say, you screwed this up. That fear that says, you're an embarrassment. Look at what you've done. That fear that says, I knew you couldn't do this. I saw your failure coming a mile away. Let me tell you what you do to those voices. Tell them to shut up. How do you tell them to shut up? With action, with consistency, with tenacity. It ain't going to be easy. 100% going to be absolutely incredibly challenging at times, but it'll be worth it. 1,000 times over, it'll be worth it. So here's a question. Why do you do it? Who are you doing it for? What's the pain or problem you want to solve, you want to address? Is it a business? Well, there's some things you should do to get super clear on your next steps and some practical business structure that you need to have in place that will save you a lot in taxes, There's some things you need to do in terms of validating the ideas. What if it's being a public speaker, getting clear on your message? Who are you for? Who are you speaking to? A book. There's so many tiny little moving parts. First question is, who are you writing for? What pain or problem are you addressing? What's the big idea? What's the main idea? What are you known for? There's a reason that major publishers want to know your credibility to write or speak on something through your writing before they do it. Because if you've never been a teacher a day in your life and you're wanting to write a book on how to be the best teacher in the world in a classroom, you have no credibility. If you want to write a book on effective practices of today's physicians, but you've never been to medical school, you've never been a doctor, probably going to have no credibility. But you know what you do have is your story. You've endured so much. And in past generations, they were taught to keep that stuff to themselves and not talk about it, not share it. And my question to you is, are you going to take those lessons to your grave, or are you going to share it? What lessons can come through the mistakes you've made, the things that have happened to you, the things that have happened for you, your successes, your wins, your victories, your battles? You've accomplished a lot. And are you going to take that with you? Or are you going to leave it behind in the form of a book? If this is tugged at your heart, not this, but you've had this on your heart for a while, and you're wondering what's the first step. There's a ton of companies out there that you can contact and hire, but very few have people who have actually written a book, much less more than one. And very few have actually had somebody that's going to help you that's actually written a book and sold more than the average. So if you've thought about it and you've been thinking about it, it's time to do something about it. And I'd love to work with you. I'd love to have an opportunity to have a conversation with you. If you're interested, email me at the email address below, shoot me a message, and I'll be happy to set up a call with you and see what we can do to help you get some clarity, next steps, and direction. But if you take nothing else away from this, live to have an impact. And if you're a follower of Jesus, live in such a way that others see him in you. Write in such a way that people feel his peace. They experience his love. This is the first book I've written, but it's not the start of the story. It's not the beginning. And while this is the latest book I've written, it's not the end of the story. You've got a powerful message inside of you. If you have had the tug on your heart to write, to share your story. Maybe it's not just your story. Maybe it's lessons on business. Maybe it's lessons on pastoring or leading or parenting or whatever the case is. Sharing how you've overcome adversity. Your story has tremendous power. And I'd love to help you share that. My name's Adam Davis, and I have been a coach, a consultant for many, many, many aspiring authors, many who are now best-selling authors. And I've authored a few books myself, but I'd love to meet you. I'd love to have a conversation with you. I'd love to talk with you, and I'd love to help you share your story. But if you don't do anything else, stop allowing fear to hinder you from living up to your fullest potential. It's time to use the gift. Have a great day.